Welcome into the PFF studios. Austin Gayle here with Mike Renner, the host of the 2-for-1 Drafts podcast. Today, we are continuing our draft profile series, and we're talking Curtis Weaver, edge defender of Boise State. He's in Club Sexy right now with Exos, trying to trim some extra fat around the edges. People don't love his body type, but he was a uber productive player at Boise State. Really high pass rush grades his entire career, really, at Boise State. Give me an overview on Curtis Weaver.
He's one of the most productive pass rushers we've ever graded, in our history of doing this. He has 92.0 plus pass rushing grades each of the past 2 seasons. The only other guy in our 6 years doing it to have back-to-back years with grades over 92.0 was Myles Garrett. So that's good company to be in. Not saying he's Myles Garrett. He's nowhere close to Myles Garrett athletically, but this guy can rush the passer. Like, it's not an accident that he put up monster grades at Boise State. Yes, the level of competition is a concern, but he has a lot of tools in his toolbox to translate to the NFL.
Clocked a 7-second 3-cone at over 260 pounds. I mean, he showed he does have that bend. He said he has the best bend in the edge defender class. Definitely showed it with that 3-cone. He's also very productive. I think he wins with his hands very well. Give me some specific positives for Curtis Weaver.
Yeah, the bend you mentioned, it shows up on tape. He had 28 sacks and hits combined this past year, 24 the year before that, and then 20 the year before that. Those are all fantastic numbers.
You finish with bend.
And it's because he gets back to the quarterback. When he's at the top of the pocket, he's not the guy, getting pushed past and going all the way upfield. He is getting back to the QB and making plays, whether it's, forcing fumbles, sacks, that sort of thing. He can do that. He has a great two-hand swipe to the outside. It's his go-to move, and he's just almost unblockable with how consistent he can throw his hands. Some of the best hands in this class as well. And again, you mentioned not going to have the great body type, but I think there is power to him. He's not necessarily explosive, but he is a powerful edge rusher.
Let's dive into the negatives with Curtis Weaver. Straight line speed, burst is not going to be something huge for him. People don't love his body type. What other negatives do you have?
Yeah, so he's not going to get upfield on you. That you worry about guys without that sort of get off. Being able to, he's a guy who wins the edge but doesn't have a great get off. You worry about that translating to the NFL because offensive tackles get more athletic. They get better with their hands. So that is a bit of a concern, especially considering the level of competition he was facing at Boise State, dominating Mountain West tackles. Not quite the same as if he was doing it in the Big Ten or the SEC. So the competition there isn't great. He also has limited length, and you always worry about guys who have short arms. His are only 32 3/8 inches.
Oh, man.
You worry about them playing the run. Like, you get locked up if you don't have long arms, and if you can't control offense tackles consistently, you just worry about that guy, getting locked up in the run game or, being able to bull rush and that sort of thing at the NFL level. So limited length, limited get off, but he's so good with his hands and so crafty. And again, the bend you mentioned in the short area quickness, that those cons, I'm not as worried about him if he didn't have that sort of bend in his back pocket.
Give me the NFL player comparison for Curtis Weaver. I think this one's hard because he's kind of a rare breed in that he's super productive, group of 5 player, doesn't have the body type that you'd recognize in the NFL. But I'm interested to hear what you got to say.
I go with Jabal Sheard, the Colt, former Patriot, former Browns edge defender. He was a 2nd-round pick. Again, another guy who won with athleticism, even coming out, and still doesn't to this day. Wins with his hands, wins with his bend, wins because he's crafty, doesn't win because he has straight line speed. And he has been a very productive, player in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Jabal Sheard as the comp. But like you said, there's not a great one because not a lot of guys look like Curtis Weaver. Not a lot of guys are built like him and win at the edge in the NFL, but I think he can prove them wrong.
Give me the bottom line for Curtis Weaver. This guy isn't in the top 50 in some boards, but we see him as a first-round talent. Give me the floor projection for him in the NFL.
I think the production is no accident. You cannot produce at that high a level by accident. And it's not because the way he's winning is translatable to the NFL with his hands, with technique. He has that. It's not just this undersized speed guy who's running around, bad offensive tackles. He is winning in a number of different ways. And so I think that with as productive as he's been, over as large a sample size as we've seen, and with, like you said, the 7-second 3-cone, with that bend that he possesses, even in that odd body type, I think he's going to be a productive pass rusher in the NFL.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.